If you have around 5 minutes, I can show you how to recreate this Haaland Norway graphic inside Photoshop. The first thing I did was go to Haaland's Instagram, and I just found one of the best pictures that I could find. I just tried to find one that looked cool, and I like this one. So after loading it on here, the first thing I wanted to do was add a camera raw filter and just really try to make it pop a little bit more by adding texture and more clarity as well. And then after I get it looking a little bit better, I just go over to the object selection tool, and then I click select subject. And then after I get this, because it will cut it out, I usually just go down to the shift edge right here and I just play with it, because sometimes there's like a black line that's outlining the player. So I just wanted to try to mess with that. And then I go over to the brush tool, because I want to get this background player out of here. Sometimes whenever you use the selection tool, it will also get players in the background. After I have that cut out, I went ahead and added in the next player image that I wanted to use. And I immediately, after doing the same thing, selecting and masking it, I just used the brush tool and faded the bottom part of the new image that I loaded in. That's why the bottom kind of looks a little bit blurry. And then I also went ahead and changed the background from white to black, because I just thought it looked better with, since he's wearing all black clothing, just thought it looked better. And then right here, I went ahead and added in the Norway flag that I found on Google, and it's kind of wavy, and there's also some, like, it's not just a perfectly straight flag. Then I went ahead and I wanted to mess around with this top image right here, because I created two separate, or I just made one more copy of it. So if you're on Mac, you can hit Control J and it will just create another image. So as you can see right here, whenever I hide that one, his face is showing. The reason I did this, because I wanted the bottom layer, or the bottom part of the image where you can see it's like under his neck where his clothing starts. It's very blurry. That's because I added a motion blur under it, so it wouldn't affect his face. That's why it's only affecting where you see his clothing. If that doesn't make sense, I can try to explain it better in the next video. I ended up using the same blur method right here for his name as I did for the top image where his face is. I just created another layer by clicking Control J. And then I went back to the bottom layer of his name, and I used a path blur. And you can change which direction you want the path blur to go in, but I just kind of thought it looked cool going side to side right here. And then to make it pop even more, I went to the top layer where I didn't add any blur on his name, and I created a drop shadow just so it could pop a little bit more. And you see the difference right here. It definitely just makes it stand out more. Right here, I just went online to try to find his signature really quick, and obviously it was pretty easy. So after I have that loaded in, I either used a selection tool, and that's what I did in this case, to just crop out the last name, or sometimes you can just change the layer setting, like from normal to either darken or just whatever it is to try to fit in the graphic. But using the selection tool usually works. After fitting in his signature right there, I also went ahead and added in that logo. And then right here is where my Photoshop started to kind of act up. I originally wanted to put some text in up here, but it just wouldn't let me add any text at the moment. This is before I updated it. It was just acting really weird. So I went ahead and added in the two flags of the country that were playing each other. And then right here is whenever it just completely stopped working. It let me add this small text in right here, but whenever I go to the next step, which is to add in the stadium background, because they were playing in Miami, as soon as I load it in right here, it just immediately stops working, and it won't let me move anything after this. Since I could tell it was all messed up, I went ahead and tried to save it just to see if it would let me start fresh or whatever. And it said the discs, whenever I get that message that the discs are full, it automatically means that it's messed up. So I got that message twice, so I just had to stop the graphic. Luckily, it let me save it a bit earlier, so I was still able to get this right here. And as you can see, I also ended up doing the blur thing on his feet as well. And I'm going to be posting a lot more here. I know I took a while off, but I'm going to be back posting more, so I can go into more depth on how I did the blur stuff and show step by step how to do it. But that's it for now. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching. I appreciate it.